I'm Rob Hill.
And I'm Lynn Rebecca, and we'd like to welcome you to our Lupus Chronicles, Episode 1. We very recently decided to open up our home, our lives, our very intimate details of our family.
Trials and tribulations through um, lupus and how it has affected not only my lovely wife who has lupus, but how it has affected me as a husband, our son, our grandson, and everybody basically around us.
Yeah, when Robert and I first started dating, I hadn't been diagnosed yet. And we had a very happy go lucky
What do you mean? We still do.
courtship. We partied nonstop. If we weren't at work, we were partying
That's true.
pretty much. And one day it just changed. I woke up and my legs were covered in bruises.
Which I jokingly said it wasn't me.
Right.
We're not realizing how severe the situation really was. My biggest concern was people thinking that I was abusing my girlfriend.
Right. Because again, like I said, we had that happy go lucky lifestyle in the clubs. So, he had this thing with the heels. So I wore the little dresses. We were out there. And I had literally over 100 bruises over my legs. We went to the emergency room. They admitted me almost instantly.
Correct.
Um, we were there for almost a week. Um, they were testing for so many things, and MRIs and CAT scans and x-rays and blood tests and scans and scopes, and I think I saw every type of specialist imaginable.
I learned what a rheumatologist was that day.
Yeah. On Thanksgiving,
Correct.
I was by myself for maybe half an hour. Robert hadn't gotten in yet to sit with me. And I was alone in my hospital room. And a doctor walked in and put the chair next to my bed and sat down. If anyone's never been very sick before, that's not a very good sign.
And to be honest, this is the first time that I'm hearing that this was how the news was broken. Um, we, I have a very bad habit of just trying to push everything away and just, okay, bad news, move on, let's go, let's keep it moving, moving on to the next subject. So I still haven't learned how to master dealing with bad news. So this is the first time that she's telling you how she received her diagnosis. It's I'm learning for the first time as well.
Um, he asked if anyone was coming in to see me. I told him yes, that my boyfriend would be there
You didn't
shortly.
say you love your boyfriend?
And he asked if I wanted to wait. And I already knew the news had to be bad. So I'm not patient. I'm not a patient person at all. So definitely, there was no way that doctor was getting out of that room without telling me right then and there. So I said no, that he could tell me what I had. And he said, well, how do you know you have something? I said, well, if I didn't, you wouldn't need to ask me if I wanted to wait for someone else. So he then went on to explain to me that I had what's called lupus, which is an autoimmune disease where my immune system works 24/7, round the clock. It doesn't know the difference between good and bad, and so it attacks everything. Ultimately making me really sick. And for many, many before me, and even right now at this very moment, it ultimately leads to your death. You die from lupus.
And one of the crazy, no, I shouldn't say crazy, one of the biggest issues that lupus has is that all the symptoms mask or resemble something else. So
Right.
in the past, we don't know how long she's had lupus. We just know that she was diagnosed on that day. And as we have gotten involved with lupus awareness and doing research, it's actually one of the fastest growing illnesses in the US. Not necessarily that people are
just now getting it all of a
getting
sudden.
lupus.
It's just it's now that people are learning more about it. More, even doctors are learning about it. Where they're developing tests, kind of, for it. The testing is a little tricky. Even, like right now, they can't even agree on whether or not it's genetic or environmental, right? Some studies say that it's not genetic, and it's environmental. It's just one of those things that happens, right? But now, I have a maternal aunt, a sister who shares, to the best of my knowledge, a biological mother and father with me, and a nephew who have lupus. So that's 4 people in this one tiny little bubble who have lupus. Could it be a coincidence? Of course it can. Can it still be environmental only? Yes. Can genetics play a role? Yeah. Yes. Bottom line is that it's they're so far behind in research. Scientists are so far behind in research that they can't even agree on whether or not this monster is genetic or environmental only.
And during the next episodes, and the reason we have decided to do these chronicles are because as more research is learned, as more studies are done, as more people are diagnosed, as more females and male are looking for circles or support groups, we can start to embrace everybody and let everybody know, because our own friends and family don't really know the extensive um,
Strain.
strain.
I mean, today we're doing this because yesterday I had a full-on meltdown, and for the first time went on Instagram and Facebook and showed that full-on meltdown. I was able to bounce back and recover with the support of family and friends who right away reached out, showing, like, true,
genuine.
wholehearted support and love. And, I was able to get back up and say, Lupus is not going to win and I'm going to kick its ass and blah, blah, blah. I mean, but in all honesty, yesterday Lupus kicked my ass. Like, I was hurting. I went to bed hurting. But, we never wanted people to see that side before. We did our best to hide it,
mask
it, and I don't want to do that anymore, and we're not going to do that. We're going to show you the good and the bad, the pretty and the ugly. We're going to show you our lives. And yeah, we fight about it. We argue about it. I get frustrated and aggravated because there are things that I want to do and I can't do them anymore because I have lupus. And he tries to oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. No, I'm gonna worry about it because I freaking want to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I want you guys to see that. And it's like my arms.
It wasn't me. And everywhere we go, I make sure I point that out.
We just came out of the hospital. I was in the hospital last week, and today I had 3 doctor's appointments. And later this week, I still have another 2 more. And, we're going to show you how we juggle, and we're actually going to show you how we have to juggle his work schedule and get somebody to be with me when it's time to go to these appointments. And we have a 14-year-old son who has to be, allowed to have fun and have a life. And I don't want him having to take care of me all the time. I want him to be a kid, so we're going to show you those things. And we want you in turn to talk back, ask questions, make your comments, give suggestions. Maybe you see us doing something in our daily lives that you may find a way, or you may think of a way that is actually better doing it your way, and you could help us. You could help us to improve on our situation. And ask questions. If I don't know the answers, believe me, I will not stop until I find the closest thing to an answer that is out there. What I will tell you right now is the number of people being diagnosed with lupus is quickly on the rise. It is dominant in women, women of color. Why that is, we don't know yet. Can children get lupus? Yes. Do children have lupus? Yes. Not as much as the demographic I just gave, but they do. Can men have lupus? Yes. Just right now, again, just not as much as the demographic that I gave. So I think that's kind of like
basic summary of how this all came about, and what we're looking to share in the coming episodes, the chronicles, not episodes. Right. And hopefully, one of the hardest things as a husband was kind of understanding, kind of realizing that even though you have goals, you have committed your life to somebody else, and your goals had to be put on pause, and then understanding that. And hopefully with the chronicles, more spouses will be able to kind of understand, or
and learn not to feel guilty for feeling upset at times because they had to readjust their goals and their initial dreams. You you, you do tend to feel guilty. Like there are times where um I know if I didn't have lupus, we'd be in Colombia and he'd be DJing something or whatever the case may be. But instead, we're here, and you know what? I can't feel guilty. I can't allow the guilt to eat me up because it's out of my hands. It's beyond my control, and he also can't feel. He can't feel guilty for feeling a twinge of that. Damn, I really want to be DJing in Colombia right now. Like fludge.
Shout out to Cartagena.
I need to be in Colombia right at this moment right now with such and such. You know what I'm saying? Learning to not feel guilty for your genuine feelings is a big part of it. So let us know what you'd like to know. Let us know what you'd like to see. And let's see how big how big this can become.
Also, if you know anybody, any friends, family members, co-workers who have been diagnosed with lupus or have lupus, and point them out in our direction. And if they have any questions, we're here to answer. If they have any concerns, if they have any suggestions, a lot of people are big on working on your diet, trying to create a stress-free
For sure. One of the things
environment.
that I want to try to do is, try to reach out and get people that can help, like people that are into the whole fitness thing. I have a cousin, Steven Garcia, who lives in Spain, and he's amazing. He will sends me a list of what plants I should have in the house for certain things based off of, because I have lupus, and what I should eat and what I should not eat, what I should definitely stay away from. And he knows that I eat McDonald's anyway, but he still tells me all of these things. But I can have him come on one day and let you guys know so that maybe y'all can be good patients. Do you understand?
No more McDonald's.
Right. So we're gonna end this here for tonight. I think that this was a good intro, and I'm excited, and I hope that you stay with us and you grow with us on this journey.
Yeah, I also apologize for all the shaking of the camera. I didn't realize I was going to be holding it this long, but it's okay.
I'll get a selfie stick. Okay, take care.
Take care.